Thank you so much for once again joining me in the Path of Ascension. We will be updating our guide today for Craven Corinth with Mikanikos for 9.1. We're going to come over here to our soul mirror. We're going to go over to Craven Corinth. We're going to hit choose on humility. Since we're doing this with Mikanikos, we're going to, of course, come over here and choose him. For this, we want to take the Vial of Lich Frost because we're going to be taking advantage of one of the things it does there. Now, for this fight, we are going to go not quite fully full charms, at least not until after the first part. Because we don't want Charm of Discord to break the frost. So the way this fight's going to work is it's very important you know where the boss is going to be at all times so you can be there with Braun since he is primarily a melee. So, of course, at the minute 20 timer, he is at the center. At the minute 15, I'd recommend using your heal, but of course you're not going to be able to do that right now because the energy thing is glitched. If you can, use your heal as soon as you can so that way it times out better with what's going on in the fight. At a minute 10 seconds, he's going to teleport into the Fan of Desolation, to the center to do the Fan of Desolation. He casts that for 7 seconds, and Fan of Desolation is 3 casts. The first 2 cover small sections of the stage with gaps in between them. You want to get into the safe zones, continue to melee him. And that's why what you're going to do is during that first 10 seconds is you're going to kite him in a U. So I like to pull him to the right, and then I'm going to damage him while backpedaling, and then I'm going to backpedal back to the center. So that way when he teleports into the center to do Fan of Desolation, I'm already there to continue meleeing him. And then, of course, for the third cast of Fan of Desolation, it covers 75% of the stage. You want to get over to that 25%. So that way you can be in the safe zone because you don't want to get kicked out quite yet. You want to ideally try to get kicked out about the 55-second mark so that way you're ready to hop back in, freeze him, and then when he goes to do his teleport, which is at about the 48-50-second mark, you want to hit your Vial of Lich Frost to freeze him in place because when he teleports, he won't go over and consume the Anima Orb. Whichever pillar you're at, he will go the opposite diagonal from you. So if you're at the front right, or I apologize, front left, he will go back right. If you're at the front right, he will go back left, and vice versa. He will always be diagonal from you. And then, of course, you're going to get back over there and DPS him. It's a good chance to use your heal once again. And at the 15 seconds remaining, he will teleport once again to the center to do Fan of Desolation. You want to make sure to be prepared for that. So once again, you're right there to continue DPSing him. Once that's done, he of course will go into his rotation and you'll get a chance to DPS him. He'll go into his enrage most likely. At this point, he will no longer consume Anima Orb. You'll be using the Charm of Focus, so that will give you the option to be able to get back into Mikanikos, or with Mikanikos back into Braun, and you can continue the fight even after the enrage. Just be mindful that you don't take too much damage outside of Braun, because if you die as Mikanikos, even if you're near Braun, there's now a stun effect that will keep you outside of him. The other 2 abilities that he will do in this fight, of course, to be mindful of, is he'll do red spheres that have an area of effect. They will slow you and damage you. And he also has a bleeding ground effect that as he moves, he'll continue to cast it. You want to be careful not to get too many of those in one spot with Braun. After the enrage, a good time to really engage him with Braun is after he goes into his Fan of Desolation. It's a perfect time to get in there and DPS him. Just make sure, once again, that you don't get downed. And there is a current energy glitch I'm going to let you know of with Braun where you start fights off with no energy whatsoever. So you're going to be meleeing him. But however, the other side of this energy glitch is you seem to be generating energy at all times, even without collecting orbs. One kind of fix that you can do to mitigate this is you can attack some mobs up here that will put energy orbs around the bell that you can grab as you start the fight. Right now, that is a glitch. Or maybe it's changed. I don't know. Blizzard really didn't post anything, and I'm not too sure. But we're going to go ahead and ring the bell and get this started. And, of course, we're going to be attacking it with Overhead Smash, using Hyper Light Beam whenever we can, our heal whenever we can to maximize our time in Braun up until the enrage. At that point, it becomes moot because he's going to pretty much 2-shot you every time. And our equipment is only really there to avoid that first Anima Orb. If he does consume some of it, it just means you're going to have a longer headache after the enrage timer, but you don't want him to consume, and don't use the Charm of Discord until after that first Anima So we're going to leave the one bag slot open so that way I can see my Charm of Discord to add it after we start the fight, after that Anima orb. I'm going to go ahead and ring the bell, and just like me, do the same. That way you can get notifications of when I add new content. And then, of course, leave a like, leave a comment. And then, as well, down in the description, you'll find a link to the Discord and also to my Twitch, so that way you can come there and see me live. So as you can see, you've got that first ground effect there, the bleed. Normally, you'd be able to start this fight with a Hyper Light Beam. We're not going to really be able to do that. Because, like I said, we start with very little energy. In this case, we started with 11, which isn't too bad. We can at least punch him once. I did accidentally add a Charm of Discord. You do not normally want to do that. But as we do it here, you can see I've got no energy. We're going to come over here. We're going to start off DPSing him, and we'll start generating rep. Or not rep, but energy here. As soon as we can do a Hyper Light Beam, we should be doing the first orb here. Not good. We're losing a lot of time. These are a mile away. We're going to want to start heading towards the center here. And there you go. Perfect run. Did it exactly the way I wanted to. Hyper Light wasn't coming up as fast as I would have liked, so I did less, so it would have been a little bit faster if I had started with full energy. But right now, with the energy glitch, you're able to generate a lot of energy, get back in, and have full health, and a lot of energy. So take advantage of that. We'll probably end up having to patch that later. They'll patch it later down the road, and we'll have to redo the guide. But for now, that's how you do it. Just make sure you know exactly where he's going to be, so that way you can be there with him, maximize your damage.